much can... I'm sorry about that. How much can you have? Is there a residual effect to carry over when you stacked a couple of quality wins together?
A lot. There's the energy that's in the building. We had a really good practice today. Everybody was upbeat and happy and attentive. And that kind of momentum does carry over usually from game to game. We just don't want to have a letdown, you know. Kind of been up and down this season, and we haven't necessarily had like the dealing with success issue learning process. So that's the next step, which is a good step to have.
How do you do with that? Is it one of those things, you don't talk about making errors because that leads to making errors, or you address it and get it out there?
No, we just talk about it, like I continue to say, how we play is more about the process than the results. And if we do what we're supposed to do as far as playing hard and together and following the game plan and that, then the correct result will come. So that's in our control, and worrying about the other stuff that we can't control doesn't make sense.
Obviously, you guys. Sorry.
Jabari's really starting to let it fly from beyond the arc. Is that just more comfort, or is there a conversation that you had or any teammates have had with him as he goes along here?
That's more comfort. I mean, I talk to him all the time about shooting when he's open for sure, but it's comfort and opportunity and finding those spots on the floor where he can get to his catch and shoot. It's also part of it is he's making more, so his teammates are probably a little bit more confident giving him the ball. So there's a lot that goes into it, but most of all, it's his work that he puts in and then the confidence that he has as a result.
And you said the other night he's a joy to coach. A guy of his age, are there any kind of guys who have had that kind of mental makeup at such a young age? Or is he kind of unique in that way?
He is unique in that way because of the defensive component, right? I mean, I've never really coached anybody who came in as a rookie and really was like locked in on the defensive part. So to have both the offense and defense does make him a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be good.
How have you seen Jalen and Kevin handle the overall pace of the game, control?
I think they've done a good job, especially so earlier in the game it'll be a bit quicker and they'll play a little bit more free, and then late in the game it slows down, but they still kind of know what they want to get to, whether it's pick and roll for one of them or KPJ will have the ball and move it to Jalen, so he'll have the pick and roll, kind of sharing that responsibility, but making sure everybody's in the right spots when the game gets a little bit slower. They've gotten better at that.
Coach, now that it seems like you guys are really starting to put together a couple more wins, winning for the last seven, does that kind of raises your expectations for this team moving forward, or does it kind of remains the same?
It remains the same for me. We're going to try to win every game that we can play for sure, but we want to make sure that we're doing what it takes to win the game, right? Like, again, and I don't want to keep kind of sounding like a broken record, but it's how we play and making sure that we're doing the correct things that produce winning, not the other way around. So I want us to play well. And if that means we're going to win more games, then that's great. But I want to do what it takes on both ends of the floor to play well. And that's what we do in practice every day. That's what we harp on. And then, the results are we're 4-7 in our last 7. 4-3 in our last 7. Good.
Does that help validate what you guys are doing?
Yeah, it definitely does. The guys feel good about the game plans. They feel good about the positions that they're put in. They feel good about their teammates, which is huge. So, yeah, it does validate.
You were saying, even when there was one win for a while, that you were seeing signs of improvement. Did those things lead to the wins lately, or has there been other areas that needed to improve and have, and that's why you're winning now?
Not really. I mean, I think it is the things that I was talking about early were our resilience, right, and our fight, and the things that make us like in the games. We're still showing those things. We're still showing a bunch of resilience because, like, we're still getting down in games. 10-0 at the start of the last game, down 16 was it the Phoenix game, and still fighting back. But I would say we're kind of attentive to the details a little bit more than we were earlier. We were searching earlier, and now we're kind of getting a better feel just because of the experience of what it takes to kind of finish these games.
You talked about Alfie being able to play with 5 fouls for the night.
Yeah.
Are there some fouls that he's able to avoid better now than, say, last year?
Yeah, his technique is better for sure, and a lot of defense is being able to anticipate what's coming. And in your first year, it's really hard to anticipate what's coming. But with more experience, you're able to anticipate a little bit better. You're able to be one step earlier. You're able to know that somebody's going to rake under your arms and try to draw a foul that way. So, yeah, with more experience, he'll be a better defender. I thought he tried really hard on the defensive end last game and did a very good job.
After Monday's game, you talked a lot about trust in Tari and Jabari. Because they're so young, well, what goes into it where you can say, you know what, I could trust these guys in crucial moments of the game?
Production, when they go out there and they prove that they deserve to be out there, whether it's not messing up a coverage, not messing up an offensive set, going and get a rebound, making a big steal, producing in those moments gives everybody trust. It gives them probably trust in themselves, but it also gives me trust in them.
When Ty Washington called up from the Vipers, what's the plan with him moving forward?
Yeah, we're going to have him here. He's going to be available to play if necessary. And then we're going to probably reevaluate. I think they have like 3 games or 2 more. They play Friday, Saturday in Orlando. We're going to reevaluate after that. So he's here.
Where have you seen KJ grow the most since you've been with him?
Oh, man. I mean, he's always been a smart player, but I think he's even smarter now. Like, he's not going to make a mistake. He knows where he's supposed to be. When it comes to defensive coverages or offensive plays, he's usually in the right spot. And, he is one of the guys that kind of gets us going with our transition game as well. So to have someone who's running the floor and crashing the glass and using all his athleticism, but also a cerebral player, that makes him valuable for our group.
Tari kind of discussed the team's physical toughness the other night. I know you've talked about the mental toughness at all. This front court, especially these wings, is that something you kind of like to see? This isn't backing down from anyone?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the physicality that Philly brought, for sure, we had to match and exceed. And for a young group to be tough and physical is really something that that stuff usually doesn't go away. That usually stays. So I'd say that's a good thing.
Stephen, Eric a while ago said, we're starting to figure it out. Coming from a vet like Eric, what does that mean?
That means a lot. Yeah, for Eric to say we're starting to figure it out, it means that he has trust in what we have going on, but he also has trust in his teammates, and that's big because he's talking to those guys all the time. So for him to say that is really good.
Thank you.